Hey, friends, welcome to today's session, which is episode 44 of our weekly series. So if you're joining in, say hello, all right? Say hi in the chat and let me know that where you're tuning in from, that you're watching, okay? All right, and don't forget to leave a comment too. So today we are going to be talking about something that every virtual assistant or every soon-to-be virtual assistant, right, has to nail down. And that is how to calculate your rates and make sure that your pricing really reflects your value. So, this is such an important piece of running a sustainable virtual assistant business. And I really want to help you feel confident about charging what you're worth, okay? So we're going to break it down step by step. So I'm also going to show you a very free tool that I have created. It's called the VA Pricing Calculator. If you've been hanging around a little bit, then I'm sure that you've seen it come through the feed. But this really helps to make the math super easy for you, okay? So if you're ready to go even deeper than that, right? And really hitting those income goals, especially we're starting a new year, right? We're always like, new year, new me, and I really want to reach these goals or these income goals. Then I've got a great next step for you as well, all right? But I'll talk to you a little bit later about that. So number one is, why do we want to set our rates? Why does that matter so much, right? Do we just want to be willy-nilly and just say, oh, I'll just charge whatever, or I'll just see what their budget is, right? Well, not really. Okay, so let's first talk about why this is so crucial. When I started my VA business back in 2010, I was working a full-time corporate job. All right, this was a corporate job by day, and then I was doing just random VA jobs at night, right? Trying to go out there and find the client work. And I gave you an example last week. I was transcribing audio for MBA students at night in my little office, all right? And back then I kind of charged peanuts, right? Because I honestly had no idea how to price my services, all right? I didn't really have a solid rate back then. I was just kind of like, I'm just testing the waters to see what's going on here, okay? And I also, at that time, I didn't really think about what my time was worth or what I needed to earn to hit my income goals. So if that sounds familiar, then I want you to know that it does not have to be that way, okay? You can build a business that works for you, and pricing is where it starts, all right? So we're going to talk step by step how to calculate your rates, okay? So let's get right into it. So number one is to start with your monthly income goal, okay? How much do you want, or how much do you need to actually earn per month? And be specific, all right? So let's actually look at numbers, okay? So let's say that your goal is $5,000 a month, all right? So, all right, great. Now we know what your income goal is. So the number two is to factor in your expenses, because you have to remember that running a business does come with some costs, all right? There's software sometimes, there's taxes. You got to pay your own taxes at the end of the year, right? Or beginning of the year, whatever you want to look at. You have internet, you have Wi-Fi, okay? I do want to mention this though, that if you're a virtual assistant or if you're just starting out as a virtual assistant, it's very, very low startup costs. And more than likely you already have some softwares and you have your internet and your Wi-Fi, right? Just as a part of everyday living. So it is very low startup costs, but you have to remember that, as time goes on, or sometimes you want to add software onto your services or whatever, then, you'll have those expenses. So we want to make sure that we add these expenses to your income goal. All right. So if your monthly expenses are, let's just put the number $1,000 just to make it even, nice and easy, even number. If it's $1,000 and your income goal was $5,000 a month, right? You need to make that. Let's make your target $6,000, right? Okay, because your target now becomes $6,000 a month. Okay, so and when we factor in expenses, we have to bring that amount up, right? So number three is to decide how many hours do you actually want to work, all right? So just be realistic. Don't plan for a 40-hour work week if you're looking for flexibility. So let's say that you aim to work 20 billable hours per week. That would be about 80 hours per month, okay? So now already, what you want to make per month, what your expenses are, how many hours that you want to work. And number four is to do the math. All right, so let's take your total income goal, which we decided for example purposes here is $6,000, and divide it by your billable hours, which is 80 hours a month. So in this case, your hourly rate would need to be $75 an hour. Okay, and remember, this is just an example, and of course it's going to be based on your experience and all this other good stuff. All right. So I want to show you the VA pricing calculator that I was just talking about, okay? And, I know that math isn't always everyone's favorite subject, like it wasn't really my favorite in school or anything, but I have created a tool that'll make this really, really easy for you, okay? And it's called the VA pricing calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just show you what it looks like, okay? So basically what you do is you just plug in your numbers. You plug in your income goal, your expenses, your hours, and it's going to calculate your it's going to show you how to calculate your hourly rate and package rates as well, okay? So it's simple, it saves you time, and it'll really help you figure this out, okay? So if you want to grab a copy of this, it's totally free. All right, just drop the word calculator in the comments below, and I'll send you the link so that you can download this, you can print it out, and you can really, dig into what your rate should be, okay? So let's take a look here in the calculator guide. So I just want to show you what's inside here, okay, for free. All right, so it talks about the key components of the virtual service pricing calculator, all right? Defining your services, assessing your experience, setting your hourly rate, which is so important, estimating your time investment, because you guys, you need to know what your time is going to be invested into certain services, right? You don't want to be offering a certain rate and then go way over those hours because you didn't know how long it was going to take you, right? And I mean, and some of this is going to take some trial and testing and things like that, but it's really, really, really good in the beginning to do a time investment estimate, okay? And then, of course, we just talked about it, accounting for overhead, all right? Then I tell you how to use the virtual service pricing calculator. We talk about service categories and rates and creating a table, okay? That'll make it easy. And then we talk about calculating your total cost for each service by multiplying your hourly rate by the estimated time that it's going to take to complete a task. And so you see, it's taking a little bit of time to think about all of these things and putting it, into this table. And then we talk about determining your package pricing. Okay, that's really important too, right? Maybe you want to offer packages and not just do hourly. Okay, and then we talk about doing a periodic review because you definitely want to look at your rates and maybe adjust your rates as you gain experience and you become an expert in your field. Okay, and you also are going to want to stay informed about all the things going on in the industry and adjust your pricing according to that as well, okay? It's really good to know also what your competition is doing, okay? So here's an example range of services. It's a lot of different things that you can do, and it's in 4 different categories, okay? We have general admin, creative, technical, and specialized right here, okay? And whether you are just starting out as a virtual assistant or looking to expand your services, just understanding the wide spectrum of tasks you can offer is so important, all right? Because then you can, you can really make sure that you are charging the rates that you're worth and that, and have some value, right? There's value in what you're doing, especially when you start adding some specialized skills on. There's a lot of value in that. All right, so here is also a little chart that I created, what you're about base hourly rate pricing factors, all right? Of course, it depends on your experience. If you're a new entry-level VA just starting out, yes, your rates are probably going to be a little bit lower. But if you're mid-level or you're a senior level, then you can start bringing those rates right up there, okay? And then we talk about, in the guide, service adjustment for some of the things that you're offering, right? Some of the services that you're offering. So, we always use just the base rate for administrative services. If you're moving to some creative, you can have your base rate and then you can increase it a little bit. And I say use around the 10% mark, okay, to increase it. For technical, I say 20, and for specialized, you can go up 30% or even more, okay? And of course, it all depends on what your expertise is and what what your services are, okay? Then I also say to add a little bit on for urgency, right? If your client comes to you and they need something done today and you're pushing everything out of the way, I mean, should you charge a little bit more? Yeah, I say that you should, okay? So these are just some ideas for, adjusting your rates based on urgency, okay? And then I have some little notes in here. And then on page 7 of this guide, I created a table for you so that you can actually plug some things in, all right? You can plug in your services. You can plug in how much time you think it's going to take for you to complete your services, all right? What your VA hourly rate is based on, if you go up on this page here, based on this, right? And of course, this isn't going to be exact, right? You're going to determine this on your own, but this is just to help get the juices flowing and figuring out what your rate should be, okay? Then what are your overhead costs? Maybe you have like a creative job that you're doing, or a client that you're only doing creative things for, and you have to have a Canva account. That Canva account costs you money, right? So we're going to factor that in here. And then once you have all that determined, you can say, okay, these are what my package rates are going to be. So maybe you're going to have like a package of, I don't know, let's say 5 hours a month, right? And you're going to charge $145 or whatever, okay? But this is how you determine that, okay? And there's plenty of room on here. You can print this out as many times as you want. And, when you're adjusting your rates, and just use this sheet over and over, okay? And then there's a little bit more information here in the guide. It's all about adapting your rates for specialized services, okay? So it tells you, a lot of different things in here to, have some clear communication, right? Because when you're setting up your service agreement or your contract, you're going to want to really clearly outline what your rate structure is, okay? Specify your rates if you're just doing VA tasks, okay? And you can even, you can tell your client that up front, look, for my general rates, general tasks, this is what I charge, but if I need to do specialty work, then this is what I charge, okay? Just if you have that really, really spelled out in your contract, that's the best way to go, okay? Then I talk about rate adjustment for specialized work, okay? Value proposition, this is so important. You want to really reinforce the value that you're providing to your client, right? And, specialized skills often do lead to higher quality outcomes, right? They really do. So, and they also help with efficient processes, strategic insights, okay? And you're also going to want to highlight how your expertise in those areas can really benefit your client's business, okay? And this is how we demand higher rates. So there's also review and revise, because you want to regularly review your scope of work with your client, okay? And, if you notice an ongoing need for specialized services, right? Maybe you're just doing like general VA work. That happened to me, you guys. I was just doing general VA work, and it grew to a director of operations position, okay? Because they started out just needing a few minor things, and they really needed more help in other areas. So, yeah, it's possible. So this is really great. Great way for you to look and adapt your rates for specialized services, okay? So, and then of course use your own diligence, and then there's different online calculators to help you calculate your own rates, okay? And you can plug in the numbers. And I have also created, I'm calling it, it's reverse engineering your income to reach your income goals, okay? And if you're interested in that, then just let me know. I'm actually going to not share my screen anymore, so I'm just going to go here. All right, so that is, basically how you're going to calculate your rates, okay? Now, this is a manual process, okay? So you're going to need to, print out the sheet, get your calculator out, really think, do a little bit of research, see what your competition is charging, because you can factor that in as well. Okay, but I hope this helps. Again, if you would like a copy of this free guide, just type in calculator in the comments, and I will get a copy of that over to you. And I also have something that's a little bit more automated. Actually, it's a lot more automated to reverse engineer your income goals, so that you can figure out, what are my package pricing going to be? How many hours do I actually really want to work every week, right? How many vacations do I want to go on every year, okay? And still reach my income goal. If you're looking for something a little bit more detailed than that, then I have a mini course to show you exactly how to do that, where you plug in the numbers and everything magically calculates for you. And so if you're interested in that, just comment goals down below, and I will get you a link to that, okay? It's just my mini course, which is something that I threw together that, I knew that I needed something that was quick and easy and that would do it for me, okay? And you can actually update it as you go, right? And figure out, how many clients do I actually need in order to reach my goals, okay? It's a very, very cool tool, and I would love to share that with you. So just let me know. Just comment goals below, and I will get that to you as well. All right, so let me see here. Let's see. And what's coming next week is we are going to be shifting gears a little bit. Okay. So we're going to talk about how the heck to diversify your income and just explore some new ways to earn online without adding more hours to your day. How does that sound? All right. For service workers, sometimes, we want to increase our income, but we don't want to be sitting in front of our computers all the time, right? So this is going to be fun. We have some really, really great topics coming up very, very soon. So if you're curious about how to expand your streams of income, then you're not going to want to miss that one, all right? So mark your calendars for next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I will see you right here. Okay, so before you go, don't forget to grab your free VA pricing calculator that I just showed you, all right? Comment calculator below. And if you do want to learn more about reverse engineering your income goals, something that actually does the work for you, then check out the course, the mini course at the link in the description, or comment goals below, and I will send that over to you. All right. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. And remember that you're building a business on your terms. Okay. And you really are capable of so much more than you think. Okay. So I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.